What's up, party people? Today I'm going to show you exactly how I got my first 150 SaaS clients using GoHighLevel. Just to show you that I'm not blowing hot smoke, you can see this is me up at the summit this year receiving the reward for the SaaSpreneur Award. And then also you can see last 2 full months here, we're looking at about a little over 41 grand, so averaging about 20K per month. Today I'm going to show you the exact ads, the funnels, and the sales process that I use to grow my GHL SaaS to 150 plus customers, active customers, and $20,000 per month. So kind of the frame of this call is that this will be relevant to you if you're looking to sell marketing automation services for 100 to 400 bucks a month to a local business owner, using HighLevel to fulfill that. And that's kind of what I've done. And so this is just kind of from my experience. So I hope it helps you. And also I think that if you haven't even gotten started yet, you don't have 10 clients, 20 clients, 30 clients, a lot of this probably isn't going to be relevant because you're not going to get a very quick ROI on some of these activities, right? Some of the stuff you'll do and you're not going to see the fruits of it for months. And so I think it probably makes more sense if you're just getting started, just go watch my other videos on how to get your first 10 and how to get your first 50 SaaS customers better served to you. And so we're going to go over a website, how I got mine, kind of the vibes you want your website to give off, branded keyword ads with Google search, and why we want to do that, video testimonials, how to get them, how to actually get your customers to record good ones, because that proof is in the pudding, and that really is going to help your Facebook ads grow. So how you're going to use those video testimonials in your Facebook ads to help get more leads, more book calls, etc. And then how to use all this to get referrals. And so just kind of break down, I've probably gotten 50 or 60 customers from ads and 50 and 70-ish customers from referrals, and probably my first 20 or 30 were from cold outreach locally, and a little bit of non-local cold outreach. But that's kind of my breakdown. And so that shows you, hey, the ads are important and the referrals are important as well. And so let's just go ahead and dive in. So let's go into the website part. So kind of the goal of our website is to give off big business vibes. And I think you'll know what I'm saying when I say that. And so I recommend using something like Framer, Webflow, or try to create something slick and high level. The high level's website builder is getting better, so you can create something good in there. But what I would recommend is I use Webflow. I think Framer's a little bit easier to use. Here's my website. It's just reviewharvest.com. All I did was I went to Webflow templates and I just found a template that I liked. And then I was struggling to kind of fill in all the information into Webflow because Webflow has a little bit of a learning curve. And so I just paid one of the Webflow experts $400 to fill it in. But I think if you use Framer, you can find a really slick template as well. And I think it's a little bit easier to fill in. That's probably what I'd do if I had to start over today. So yeah, it's super simple. I would recommend just, you want it to give off big business vibes. Like there's certain websites you go to and you're like, like this looks like some kid in his mom's basement, right? Or you can tell it's built on HighLevel in like an hour. And so like animations are important. Keep things simple, very simple. Don't make it super text heavy. Spacing is important. I'm not a designer by any means, but that's the nice thing about templates. You can just find a template you like and that looks good. And then you can go ahead and fill all your information in there. And so you can see these animations are, kind of nifty. And so that's what I used. Why that's important is because I think what I figured out was I needed to start running branded keyword ads. So it's probably the highest ROI marketing activity or ad spend that I have. And the reason is that once you start spending money on ads, once you start getting referrals, getting enough clients out there that are talking about you, people are going to start to look you up, right? And the problem is that when you just create a brand new site, you're a new business, you're just getting started, you're probably not going to pop up at the top, right? Reputation management, review automation, it's not necessarily not a competitive space in the SEO because you're competing against Bird Eye, Podium, Nice Job, like these massive companies, right? And so this makes you look legit, and it prevents people from being like getting on a call with you or potentially getting on a call from you, or like you're following up with a lead and they're like, hey, I looked you up on Google, I didn't find anything. And so this prevents that, because what you can do is you can type in your keywords that you want to use on the search ad and as just your main business name, and then you pop up at the top. You can see here's an example. So Review Harvest, I pop up sponsored. Here I actually popped up organically too, so that's great. But how you do this is actually super simple. This isn't going to be a Google Ads tutorial. Like you can just look up branded keyword ads on YouTube and you'll find somebody that's going to show you exactly how to do it. But all you do is create a Google account. You want to run a search ad, so don't use display network or anything else, just strictly a search ad. And then the search terms that you want to bid on, that you want to rank for, be up at the top on, you want to just make those your business name. So anything that people would use to kind of find you, you want to put those in. So a lot of times, for some reason, especially in the beginning, people would think it was called Harvest Review instead of Review Harvest. So like I run exact match keyword search ads on Review Harvest, review harvest with no space, harvest review, reviews harvest, and then a couple other like just misspellings, common misspellings of review or review harvest, etc. So you want to do the same thing for your business. Obviously not for review harvest. If your business name is, Rocket Reviews or something, you'll want to do Rocket Reviews, Reviews Rocket, and all the common misspellings. And so the great thing about this is you're only going to pay for these when people are typing these keywords in and clicking them, right? So for me, it's about $100 to $150 a month, but if you're just getting started, if nobody's really searching, it'll probably be cheaper. But it's very high ROI because these people kind of already know who you are because they just typed in your name of your business to Google, and they're already kind of trying to figure out more information about you, so it's very high intent. And so now this is going to make you look really legit when people look you up. So, but obviously we need to have the legit website first. So get the legit website, then run branded keyword ads. All right, so now let's go into video testimonials. So the first step to video testimonials is obviously get lots of clients and get them great results, right? So that's the barrier to entry. We don't want to lie. We don't want to fake these. Do whatever you want to do, but that's just not who I am. I've never done anything like that, and I think I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I did. And so what I would do is, first, you'll find there are certain types of clients that you work with. Okay, this type of person that's just going to be willing to hop on take a video and review me and give me a great video testimonial. Not everybody, obviously, but you will find those. And so when you do find those clients that you seem very personal, maybe they're younger, the 65-year-old plumber is probably not going to do it, right? But if you're working with a 22-year-old, dude or something that's very personal and, seems comfortable on camera, then I would just ask and follow up repeatedly. And you can even incentivize with a free month or incentivize with money, whatever you want to do. People pay for commercials. People pay actors for commercials all the time. So, I guess that's, up to your own morals. But so just ask them to film a video testimonial. And it's not one of those things when you ask them, like filming a video testimonial isn't just like leaving a review where it takes like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. You just do it right then. Most of the time people are gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll get to that later. And so you're gonna have to follow up. One thing that's been really helpful for me and how I've gotten a lot of my video testimonials is turning support calls into video testimonials, right? So if they're struggling with integration, they're confused about something, they want to give you a new list, or any reason you might hop on a call, what you can do is you can just ask them and say, after you kind of already you can be videoing the call already, but once you've already delivered the value and you've helped them in whatever way, you can say, hey, do you mind if I use some of this for marketing material in our marketing? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. For the most part, they normally don't care. And so after you deliver the value, these are kind of the questions that I go through to try and kind of get the answers that we want, right? We always want our customers to be honest, never say something that's not true. But a lot of times what they say might not perform well as an ad, but it might be like what they mean might perform it well as an ad, just phrased differently, right? I don't know if I explained that well, but what I'm saying is that they might say something like, oh, that was great, but they didn't include the name of my business or they didn't include before and after or whatever. You say, that was so awesome. Would you mind like reframing it this way? Because what you'll find is a lot of times they're willing to work with you when you tell them, hey, I want to use some of this on my marketing material. They're willing to work with you and say what you'd like them to say, but we don't want to just like abuse that and take advantage of that, right? With great power comes great responsibility, because these video testimonials are very, very powerful. And so what to do to start, this is something that I could do better at, but it's getting those pain-based hooks for the ad. So like the first 3 or 4 seconds of the ad, obviously very important. And if you can get kind of a pain-based hook on how annoying it was to get reviews or how hard it was to get reviews before, it's really helpful. So you can ask them, hey, what was the hardest part about getting reviews before working with us? Or what was the most annoying thing about Google reviews before working with us? And you're just looking for a good clip that you can include in the beginning, right? And then you can go into kind of the statistics of things like, hey, how many reviews did you have before? How many reviews do you have now? How long did it take? And then you can ask them, what is it like having X amount of reviews now? Now that you have this many reviews, how has that changed your business? And they might go ahead and give you an amazing answer. Like if you go watch some of my video testimonials, a lot of those are just like, they're just spewing about the great work that we've done. And it's like, oh, this is amazing. This is great. But sometimes they'll kind of, just like ramble or whatever. And so if they're not kind of giving you clear answers that you'd be able to use for marketing material, you can use more pointed questions to get kind of the answers you're looking for, right? So hey, after getting all these reviews, are you starting to rank higher on Google now? And if they are, then they'll tell you. Do you feel like that the leads are higher quality? That's one thing we talk about a lot. When you are the number one reviewed business in your area, you're beating everybody by 400, 500 reviews. People come to you with a different frame of mind because you seem like the best in the area, right? So, hey, are the leads higher quality now? Is that something you've noticed? What's been the best part about working with us? Was the onboarding process simple? Do you not have to worry about Google reviews ever again? You don't have to worry about responding to reviews. What was their favorite part about it? And then you can also say, what would you say to somebody considering working with us? So this is going to kind of flip the table and get them to sell your services for you, right? So what would you say to somebody that's kind of on the edge and considering working to us? And like I said, a lot of times they're going to be willing to work with you, and as long as you're comfortable and you have rapport with them, it's normally a pretty comfortable situation. And then after you get that call, you say you videoed a Zoom call or whatever, you can then cut out all the blank spaces and cut out maybe parts where they just rambled, or cut out parts where you're asking the questions or whatever it is, to kind of splice it together to make it a coherent video testimonial, right? So that's kind of how I've gotten a lot of my video testimonials. There's really no super easy way. You just want to continue to follow up, and then anytime you have the opportunity on a support call, or you have a client that you're like, they'll leave a video testimonial, just go ahead and go and follow up and just be adamant about getting that. All right, big boy proof from Facebook ads. So I'll show you my top performing ad to date. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but I will kind of narrate it as we go along. So just to go over, so what I want to do is I wanted them to be able to see the ad and immediately know what the value is and what we can do. And so I've tested kind of multiple different things where I didn't have it, I just had the video, and this seemed to perform a little bit better. And so it just says real reviews from customers. That's like, you get a lot of people asking for fake reviews. So putting that up at the top, hey, real reviews from customers, 50 Google reviews for free. And so how we kind of do that offer that has helped us, I'm going to create another video about going into depth on this offer. But that basically is, if you're a qualified business, if you're a business that's been around for a while, you have over 750 or 1,000 previous customers, then yes, we'll get you 50 Google reviews for free. If not, you're a smaller business, you're just getting started, we can't promise to get you 50 reviews if you only have 100 previous clients, or you only have 50 previous clients, right? But we still give them 14 days free. So we market the 50 reviews for free. But if we got them on a sales call and we see they don't qualify, we say, no worries, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for the 50 Google reviews for free, but you do qualify for 14-day free trial. And I've never really had anybody push back or not, still stoked about it. And so that's just my experience with it. But when we get into this video, the first thing is just going to be me calling out business owners, talking about Google reviews, and then it just goes into a video of just straight up proof. And so let's go dive in. It feels impossible for you to get Google reviews. Watch this video, see the results of our clients, submit the form down below, and we'd love to start getting some reviews. So just making it really clear, if you're a business owner, you want to get more reviews, submit the form down below, just like being very clear. I probably could optimize that. Like you'll see, my big disclaimer here is that I am not the best Facebook ad or ad savant ever. There's so many things I could probably improve on. Facebook ads has just kind of been the thing that keeps our business steady and kept us steadily growing to the 150 clients, because it is a lot more consistent than referrals. And also, you'll find Facebook ads, you'll get great clients, you'll get not great clients, but you'll also get some great clients that you can then use to get all those referrals. And so then it just dives into very quickly a very John, one of our clients, saying, hey, we got 200 reviews in 3 weeks, so I'll just let you watch it. Put the form down below, and we'd love to start getting some reviews.
As soon as we switched over to Review Harvest, within 3 weeks, we gained over 100 reviews.
Almost overnight, we started seeing results.
Good.
So you can see they're saying quickly, in 3 weeks we got 100 reviews. Overnight we started getting results. This is one of my favorite testimonials. He said, you're a superstar, and he said that there are very few companies that actually deliver what they promise, and he said that Review Harvest was one of those. But you see,
sign up with Review Harvest because they are very few companies that actually deliver what they promise.
After 8 months of business, we were at 127 reviews, and after 2 months, Review Harvest got us over 350 reviews.
And so it basically just goes into a full minute of just our video testimonials. And that ad has seemed to perform pretty well for us. I think it's just because it's proof-based marketing. We're not trying to sell it ourselves. We're just saying, hey, here's what our clients say about us. And if anybody has any tips on how I can make that better, please comment down below. I'm open to it. And so in terms of the actual Facebook ad, very simple. It was just a lead form ad. At the end of that lead form ad, it said, hey, book a call to get started. Like, hey, wait, you're not done yet. Book a call to get started. And then on the actual ad set, very little targeting. The only thing we targeted was small business owner behavior, which I think is like a 4 million person group or audience or something. So very little targeting. We didn't really focus on anything. We just focused on kind of business owners, which we could probably dial in and figure stuff better, but that seemed to work with us. We were getting, for a long time, we were getting about $10 to $12 leads, and we're getting about $50 to $60 book calls. The issue is just show up rating, quality and stuff. So we're still, working on that stuff, but it was good enough to get us 50, 60 clients in the last year. And so here's kind of the steps of the funnel. Like I said, it's a lead form ad, so you get the lead form, and then now if they don't book a call, we can follow up to make sure they book a call. So obviously you want to try and call them within 5 minutes if they book the call or if they don't book a call, right? If they don't book the call them and try and get a time on the calendar. If they do, just call to confirm. Say, hey, I saw you on our calendar, really looking forward to it. And you want to try and create the connection. Go ahead and say, hey, what's going on with reviews so far? Just kind of dig up a little pain and just make them honestly remember that they want this. And so hopefully a day from now, 2 days from now, 3 days from now, they'll still remember the call and they'll still want to hop on. And so obviously we do all the normal stuff for following up. So text and email confirmation and reminders, the call the morning of, just saying, hey, we're looking forward to the call. Once again, trying to say, hey, we're looking forward to getting more Google reviews, going back into any past pain you might have discovered on that first call. Really valuable there. And then we text them 10 minutes before. Here's a really important thing. So text them 10 minutes before, just like the link again, email them 10 minutes before, so that Zoom link is at the top of their inbox as well. And then what I want you to do, and this is hard because after hopping on probably hundreds, maybe 1,000 plus calls this year, it's hard to assume that people are always going to show up because you get 50 to 60% show rates, pretty consistently, especially when you're running Facebook ads like this with not a lot of friction in between the ad and booking a call, right? Direct to book a call pretty much. And so it's hard to assume that, but you want to talk to them like you're just assuming they're good for it, like you're excited and waiting for them on the Zoom call, right? And so if they don't hop on the call right away, at 12:01, if they're supposed to be there at 12:01, call them. And you don't want to be like, hey, are you still good for our call? Because that gives them an easy out. No. What you want to do is assume that they're good for it, right? So, hey, are you having issues getting on the Zoom link right here? This assumes that they're good for it, that they're on their computer trying to hop on the Zoom, and it makes it harder for them to say no, right? It makes it harder for them to hop on. And a lot of times you'll call the first time and nobody will answer. Call again, so it might bypass the do not disturb feature, might bypass the ringer or whatever. But just double call. You'd be surprised how many people pick up the second time. And once again, just assume that they're on, that they're trying to get on, they're trying to show up. And if not, and they're really busy, it's whatever, just try and reschedule for a time that's very soon, like later that day or the next day, because you're probably going to miss them if you book it out next week, right? And so another thing is you want to text them the same thing. If they don't answer their calls at all, just text them the same thing. Hey, you having issues hopping on the Zoom call? You'd be surprised how many times I'm sitting on a Zoom call waiting for somebody to show up. I send them that text basically saying, hey, you having issues getting on the Zoom call? And then literally 30 seconds later, boom, get the notification that they're hopping on the Zoom call. And so even still with all this, we still got 55. At the best, I think we're getting 65 to 70% show rate, but at our worst, it was like 50% show rate. And so average was probably around 60% show rate. And that's just, it's kind of part of it when you're running these cold ads to a cold audience that don't know you, haven't consumed your long form content or anything like that. Normally you just get a lower show rate, right? And there's obviously things you can do to warm up your prospects. Like you could send them a video, midway through about going over what your process is like, any results. We send them case studies before in the email follow-up, just showing how many reviews we've gotten people. But the tricky thing, and this could be a big limiting belief for me, but the tricky thing about reviews, like just selling Google reviews to local business owners, is that, in terms of value, like there's not a lot of stuff that we can just say that's really valuable. Like we can show them, hey, are you missing reviews? Here's how to do it. Is your Google business profile suspended? Here's how to do it. It's not really applicable to everybody. It's not like the marketing space where somebody can, you can watch a 30-minute Alex Hormozi video and you're like, this is the most valuable thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is gonna make me so much more money, right? A lot of these local business owners just want reviews, right? And so we just want to deliver those reviews, and it's so kind of hard to give them that value before, but there's probably plenty of ways you can do it. I'm still just kind of figuring that out. And then in terms of the actual sales call, one, obviously build rapport. You don't have to spend forever on this, but just treat them like a human. Try and find some common connections. It'll help make the rest of the sales call a lot easier. And an easy model for that is, like, I think it's called the Ford model. So it's like family, occupation, but obviously you know their occupation because they're a business owner, relationships, and I'm totally forgetting it now, but just look it up. But so what you want to do when you're on the call is just kind of walk through like the closer framework. Obviously watch Alex Hormozy's videos on that. He's smart for a reason and he's rich for a reason. But you want to clarify, hey, what made them book the call? And so just getting them to express the reasoning. If they say they're just interested or whatever, you say, oh, okay, cool. Do you just hop on calls all the time like this? Like, what's going on? What's going on with your Google reviews? And then you finally figure out, okay, they're struggling to get Google reviews. Hey, their workers aren't asking for Google reviews. Hey, their competitor down the road has 100 more reviews than they did, just out of the blue. And so then label them with that concern. Say, oh, okay, you're concerned because your competitor's gotten a bunch more reviews than you have recently. You think your ranking's dropping and you're struggling to get reviews, right? Does that sound about right? They say yes. And then overview what they're doing, what they've done in the past to get more reviews, and then kind of sell the vacation. So as long as they're a good fit and you know that you can help them out, sell the vacation. What we like to do is just the 3 R's. We request reviews, we respond to reviews, and we repurpose reviews. We tell them about the personalized image, automatically responding to the reviews, all that stuff. And then what you want to do is, so after you kind of sell the vacation, say, how's that sound, whatever. It says it sounds good. And like once again, I've said it before, I'm not the best at sales ever, but this is just kind of how I've done it. It seems to work all right. But once you kind of get a verbal commitment, oh yeah, that's cool, that's good, I like how you do this, that's awesome, sweet. What you can do is just tell pricing and say, hey, $99 a month for you, or be $279 a month for you, whatever it is. And then you might have to handle a little bit of objections or whatever, and you want to tell them, hey, it's a 14-day free trial, 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not happy for any reason, we'll just give you your money back. They'll ask about contracts maybe. You'll say, hey, we like to say we're easy to work with and we're easy to get rid of. And so once you kind of get a verbal commitment from that, like, yeah, I think we can do that. That sounds good or whatever. Then instead of asking for the card information right there, we just say, hey, let's go ahead and get you onboarded. And so after the pricing thing, I'm normally just like, hey, do you got 20 or 30 minutes now? We can go ahead and get you onboarded and hopefully start getting you some more reviews by the end of the day. Right? And so that helps because when they get the card information out, you'll get a lot more objections, but just going ahead and getting started will help them kind of push them along and kind of remove some of that friction from the process. And then what happens is kind of magical. So you spend 20, 30 minutes onboarding them, getting connected to their Google business profile, getting connected to their social medias, getting access to their client list, getting all this stuff. And then at the end of the call, you've been with them for 45, 50 minutes. They've invested time in getting this set up. And then that's when you just ask for the card to activate the account. And so you can just say, hey, let you know we rebill for text and email expenses. So it's going to be $20, $30 on this free trial. So we just need to go ahead and get the card on file so we can start. And so they have that sunken cost of, well, I've already gone through the process of getting all this set up. I might as well just start it for free, besides text and email expenses, and get going. So that is kind of our sales call process. For the longest time, I was doing sales calls to get card on file to then book the onboarding call. But when I switched to like sales calls, if they're a good fit, onboarding them right away, and then card on file at the end, our conversion rate doubled. And I wish I would have done that from the beginning because that was a big hack, a big unlock for us. That's really helped us grow. And so lastly here, we're going to go over referrals. So a couple things to know. People ask me a lot about niching down if you're just selling reviews or just selling automation services through high level, one feature. We haven't niched down in terms of, if you go to our site, it doesn't say, hey, we just serve one people. But there are some industries that think that we primarily serve them, like some industries that we primarily serve. And so when you're getting started and you're serving people locally, I think it is, personally, in my experience, it has been beneficial to be broad, right? If you tell a plumber locally that you work with, it says, yeah, we only work with plumbers. There's a pretty low chance, if he's getting great results, pretty low chance that he's going to refer you to the plumbers that he's competing against, right? Locally when you're getting started. However, if you say you work with everybody, there's a decent chance that he refers you to maybe his Chamber of Commerce friends that own a landscaping business, or they own a window cleaning business, or whatever. That's not his direct competitor, but he still likes and he still wants to help them succeed. So when you're local, when you're just referring contacts out locally and you're focused on your area, it really does help to be broad, I think, in my experience. But when you're getting referrals online, I definitely think it helps to appear, kind of super niched. And this can be helpful because if you're dealing with, let's say, an industry that has a Facebook group of 1,000 people, right? And let's say that you've got 20 or 30 of those 1,000 people set up on your service. You don't necessarily have to be just that industry's review company. But to them, when everybody's posting their testimonials, posting their stuff in the group, and to do that, we tell them, hey, we give everybody a free month that sends stuff our way. And so I'm going to get into kind of the tracking of all that in a second here. But we incentivize our clients to, hey, go ahead and post your before and afters in this Facebook group, right? And when 5, 10, 15, 20 people post that stuff or comment on other posts about reviews, you start to show up everywhere, and these people then hop on calls with you or book calls on your calendar or look you up on Google. We have the branded keywords ads. So we're actually popping up. And so now they're like, oh yeah, I see you work with everybody. And so they think that we're kind of bigger than we actually are because we're in this just little small pond. We're kind of doing a good job with just this small pond, right? And so I hope I explained that well, where I think kind of online and Facebook groups or wherever, I think it helps to appear niched, but not necessarily you'll only serve that client, right? So like I said, we offer any of our clients who send somebody our way and convert from the trial a free month. And so right now that tracking process is very manual, right? So I spent time setting up this complex system, but the issue with tracking and referrals and stuff is that a lot of times you need to get somebody to enter somebody's name in and their email in. And a lot of times people don't want to just go ahead and throw somebody's phone number in a form and they're scared they're going to get called and bugged and followed up forever, right? So what we found is best is just very very laid back, very oh yeah, we'll figure it out. Because honestly, one of the first questions we ask on all of our sales calls is, hey, how'd you find us? How'd you hear about us? Because this can help kind of establish the frame and authority. Because if they're like, oh yeah, I've just seen everybody's talking about you in the Facebook group, they've already kind of submitted that what we do works and that people are using it and that they've kind of already almost pre-sold on our services because they've heard it, right? And so we do a pretty good job of tracking back to, oh yeah, what posts did you see? And then using that way, we can just very manually go add free months to our clients' accounts, doing that. Kind of the complex system, I haven't figured out how to get it to work. I think it could work. We haven't gone the affiliate model of 30%, because most people would rather just have a free month than have $20 or $30, right? And then you have to worry about payouts and all that stuff, right? But a couple ways that I've asked for referrals is at the end of the sales call. So instead of asking who do you know, ask do you know someone. Instead of asking do you know, ask hey, who do you know. It's a little bit harder to say no to that, where it's like, hey, do you know anybody? They're like, no, I don't know anybody right now, or I'll think about it. But if hey, who do you know that needs some Google reviews too? What business owners do you know that need some Google reviews too? And you'll normally get a better answer. The one thing that you get frequently on the end of sales calls, at least I get frequently on the end of sales calls, is oh, I want to make sure this works first. Hey, I want to make sure this works first, which I totally get. And I'm sure there's probably some objective overcome out there that you could kind of get around that. But I get it. That's probably how I'd be too. I don't want to go refer stuff out until I've actually used it and seen results. And so we ask for a lot of referrals on our support calls. So if we have a support call with somebody, or we have an interaction, or we're calling, something's messed up or whatever, we fix it, make sure we provide a good experience, and say, hey, who do you know that might also need some Google reviews? So we've used that to get a lot of referrals as well. And then kind of just email and texting periodically throughout normal, I wish I could say it's just some awesome email and text campaign, 3 steps that just sends you a million referrals. But for us, it's been very sporadic, just kind of in the moment, making it natural, making it come up in conversation when you're already talking about other things has seemed to work best for us. And then another thing, which is really cool, we try and turn potentially churn clients into referral partners. So, if they're churning because they're not getting results, it's pretty rare with reviews. It's pretty easy to get people to results. But a lot of people will churn just hey, times are tight. Money's tight right now. It's the winter. I don't have any new business coming in. Time's really tight. And so what you can do is you can turn those customers who've got a good result. They're just worried about the money side of things. You say, hey, no worries. Let's not charge you this month. Just go ahead and send me 5 contacts. Go ahead and make 5 warm introductions via email or something like that to kind of turn those potentially churn clients, give them a free month in advance or whatever they need, if they need it. Or you can just say, hey, dude, send me 5 warm introductions via email. I'll close one of them and you'll get a free month. And we actually have had a decent amount of clients that we're going to turn into some of our biggest referral partners. And so yeah, that is how I got 150 SaaS customers. I know this is more bigger picture, talking about the strategy behind it, because I think there's a million videos on how to run branded keyword ads, how to run Facebook ads, and how to set up follow-up sequences and across YouTube. And they probably go into a little bit more in depth than I would on this video. I just wanted this to be about the pieces and kind of how the pieces work together and what we've done. And so I will make some more tactical videos here soon. If you like this, feel free to subscribe. I go over a lot more in depth on how I've grown my snapshot. We have coaching calls in our school community. So if you're interested in joining the school community, learning more about how I built Review Harvest to 20K per month, just sign up to High Level with my affiliate link and you'll get access to it. And if you're already a user, you can just upgrade. But yeah, if not, I think this next video is suggested for you from YouTube. So have a great one.